everybody. This is Brother Ron Herb, also known as R2C2H2 Artist. You are watching We All Be TV, News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Can you dig it?
Da, 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 da. It's me. Here I come to save the day. It's mighty Brother Ron to the rescue. How y'all doing out there? This is Brother Ron, and you are enjoying the We All Be experience. That's News Free Dixie for the 21st century. I guess I see you at the funeral. Rough Rider. What's up, man? There's a lot going on. Thank you for being patient. It's been a long time, but I'm here. Here I come to save the day. Not really. I'm not going to save anything but myself. But I will save you the time, letting you know up front, we don't need saviors. We need teams. We need teams. You don't need a savior if you have teamwork. Because teamwork does make the dream work. Because what Dr. King said that famous mountaintop speech, right? Not that far from where I'm vlogcasting right now. He said, I've seen the mountaintop, but we as a people shall make it to the promised land. Something like that. So it's teamwork. We don't need another hero. Tina Turner, so we don't need another hero. She sung that in Mad Max, right? And it's a mad world out there. The world is spinning so fast. I swore it was Friday yesterday. It was just last Friday yesterday. The earth is spinning, and nobody's telling us what's really going on. CERN. See, y'all think a conspiracy is not real. No, conspiracies are real. Fantasies are the ones that are fake. See, what y'all call reality is a fantasy. See, reality is the fantasy. Conspiracies are real. I was at the dentist, and this is not, dear YouTube, this is not medical advice. This is just an observation in life. This is not medical advice because YouTube has made it their business to remove some stuff from my channel, and I'll talk about that some other time. And actually, I got a video to talk about that I actually recorded last Friday, which was yesterday. I'm missing my time. I'm missing time, folks. But anyway, I think I'm working now. Bear with me, people. It's been a long ride, Wilbur. But I went to the dental office, get my, teeth cleaned. You do that twice a year. They say you're supposed to do it twice a year. So I went to get my teeth cleaned for the last time this year. And I talked to the dental assistant, and she said, do I want some fluoride? Do I want the fluoride treatment? And I said, do I have cavities? She said, no. I said, why would I want the fluoride treatment when I get all that in my water anyway? And then she said, do you still drink tap water? And I told her, do you drink water in plastic bottles that got all type of contaminants? Do you eat food grown in the soil with Roundup? I mean, let's give them the farmers cancer. The air is terrible. It's not just Flint, folks. It's not just Jackson, people. Wake up, everybody. Wake up. Wake up. See, y'all living in a fantasy. It's not conspiracy. Y'all live in a fantasy. That's the real conspiracy. Y'all don't know y'all living in a fantasy world y'all call reality. So I was telling her, I said, so you want to try to give me some extra fluoride when my teeth is okay for the most part? I don't have no cavities. Well, I want the fluoride when I'm getting into my water. Then you talking about I'm drinking tap water. And I'm talking about you drinking water out of plastic bottles. They got lead in all the pipes. You know what I'm saying? Like, My bad, folks. I was telling you about Flint situation not too long ago in the podcast, and I was talking about legionnaire disease. What I really meant to say was lead in the pipes is causing the problem. And it's not just lead in the pipes in Flint, Michigan. It's lead in pipes all over the country. So this stuff affects your nervous system. It affects your mood and behavior. So you wonder why the crime is off the charts. And then you add with the social media programming. You add that in the mix. So now you get it. Thank you, Al Kurt, brother, for appreciating my work. We love you madly. Thank you for the donation. So you wonder why everything is chaos. You know that insurance commercial, the dude from Oz, he mayhem. It's organized chaos. It's by design. So we're going to talk about some things that's by design. There's organized chaos, organized distraction. And let's show you how we lack maturity as a people when it comes to politics or politics, that we fall for the okie doke all the time. And this is why we're not deserving of the liberation that we say we claim we want so badly. Because nothing scares a Negro more than real freedom. Nothing scares a Negro more than real freedom. The ability to self-determine your situation. The ability to direct your own feature film. Nothing scares you more. You rather protest, you rather march, you rather sing freedom songs, but still remain a slave on the plantation. Y'all ain't really about that business. And we're going to break it down tonight. And I ain't mad at you like Tupac back in 96. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you because I know what it's about. Because I'm at a point in my age now, nobody could disappoint me because I don't expect anybody to be human. I don't expect anything from human beings, rather, just to be human. Human nature is on a spectrum. So if you understand human nature, you can understand that nobody can never, ever disappoint you. You know, the issue about trust, I don't have no trust issues no more because I trust humans to be and do humans. You understand or understand? I trust people to be people. Understand the psychology, or the psychiatry of people being people. And let's get beyond that, okay? So we're going to talk about some things. I'm going to keep it on the 2 hours, I promise, because I got a lot to do in these next 2 weeks. And one of the things I got to do, like the dental system was saying, excuse me, you still drink tap water. I said, you still drink bottled water. You still, using cell phones and microwaves, right? You still bathe in the so-called tap water. I remember, I ain't gonna never forget last year when we had that ice winter storm that also brought down Texas, that brought down the power grid in Texas, deep in the heart of Texas. It's back and the city put out an advisory about the water. They told us, do not drink the water. Do not swallow the water. But it is safe to bathe and take showers in the water. Hey, little water, wade in the water, children. No, you don't. Don't wade in the water, children. Children, don't wade in the water. Or the water, or the waiter with the water. Because why would they tell you not to drink the water, but to shower and bathe in the water? Don't you know that the skin is the largest organ on the human body? So you're exposing yourself to that water and your skin absorbs that. And make it make sense. Nothing makes sense because your reality is a fantasy. Me and Mariah go back like baby with pacifiers. Oh, no, no lie. Y'all thought ODB was crazy. ODB was telling the truth. See, people that got sense look crazy in an insane world that said that insanity is normalcy. See, you're going to look crazy when you see the truth for what it is. It'll make you crazy when you have sanity in an insane, crazy, organized world. So, with that said, she told me, she confessed, the dental assistant, that I don't like to think about that stuff. I know what you say is true. Or it could be true. Or hey, women, you two, please. I don't mean, it's not medical advice. I'm just looking at reading articles, stories, talking to people, interviewing people. Just opinions, folks. Just opinion. This is not a commandment. This is not, I am not an expert, but she said something to the effect. She said, yes, I hear what you're saying, and this is why I don't want to think too much. See, a lot of people don't want to think about what's really going on. You don't want to think about the fact that you've always been bullied your whole life. You think you've never been bullied. Everybody is subjected to being bullied. We think the IRS is a bunch of bullies. Everybody's in a gang. Y'all talking about street gangs. Everybody's in a gang. The government got a gang. They got gangs within gangs in the government. Gang. You know what I'm saying? People who set policy, they're in a gang. People who enforce policy are in a gang. And nobody serves your interest. See, I'm in Memphis. I have gotten my car broken into twice in less than 2 months. See, these fools, this is why I'm thinking it's a conspiracy, because why are they constantly breaking into my car around the first of the month? It's the first of the month. Wake up. Replace your glass and come on. It's the first of the month. So they breaking my car glass around the time I got to pay rent. And those car break-ins and glass bashings, they cost a pretty penny. It could cost anywhere for me, it could be up $250 all the way up to $400 easily. So I'm paying rent on my car glass being broken in by some teenagers. And they won't rent at the place where my car is being broken in by some teenagers. They told us y'all need to get some life insurance. I already got life insurance. Don't feel sorry for me if and when I die, because I'll be covered. I got some life insurance, y'all. No need for no GoFundMe, fish fry plates and all that good stuff with the hush puppies and the coleslaw. I can't eat it. I'm dead at that point. But what I'm saying is they basically told us, I'm on my own. You're on your own. You're on your own. Basically, they gave us the Patti LaBelle line, right? We're on our own. Even though we're paying rent, we pay taxes, nobody can save us. Even the police are shivering in fear. Like I tell out-of-towners, these youngsters are young guns, you're right? They taking licks at the police. They popping off at the cops. Cops are afraid. They breaking into police cars and taking their gats, right? This is Memphis. We got a police shortage. The police are very candid about their shortage. They told me, Brother Ron, it's about 90,000 people live where you live, and it's only like under 80 or 77 police officers for almost 90,000 folks downtown. And we'll be having smash and grabs. People told me about in the public parking lot, in one of the public parking spaces downtown. You had kids reenacting scenes from Fast and the Furious. Take your sequel, Fast and Furious in Tokyo, whatever. They going in, stealing cars, riding around different levels, smashing into other cars, and still have enough of a civic mind to pay for parking tickets in the garage while they bashing and smashing people's cars, unawares, not knowing as they getting smashed at the bar, their cars are also getting smashed at the garage. And maybe they may have saved some lives. You know how people they love to drink and drive. By them bashing and smashing people's cars, maybe they saved some lives. If Bill Street could talk, right? So it's the Wild Wild West out here, folks. So what I'm saying, Memphis is a unique place. Yet I'm still here. I love my city, and I think I'm a part of the solution rather than the problem. And I hope that you all see it my way. In 2 weeks, we are going to have let me just put this up. Because I have a theory about how things really work. When you solution oriented, nobody wants to solve the problem. They just want to make a profit off the problem. Your loss is the system gain. Let me repeat. Your loss is the system's gain. Gang. See how it works? Gang. All right. This is what we do, right? This is the 2022 Jimmy Lunceford Legacy Awards, right? I'm having this downtown at the legendary Orpheum Theater. A lot of greats, Broadway plays, a lot of greats have played at the Orpheum for decades. It's like over, I think close to 100 years old. This building been around for 100 years old. A lot of history, a lot of ghosts in that building, a lot of history in that building. So we're going to have our 2022 Jimmy Lunceford Legacy Awards at the Orpheum Saturday night, October 22nd from 5 to 9 p.m. Central. And we're going to be honoring the best in Memphis music, as well as the legacy of one James Melvin Lunceford, Jimmy Lunceford. And think about it is, I wish I could do a short and concise elevator pitch or speech as rather than to sell people on Jimmy Lunceford. See, this would be an easier sell if I was doing the Isaac Hayes Legacy Awards, if I was doing the Elvis Presley Legacy Awards, if I was doing the B.B. King Legacy Awards. But to me, I could make the case that Jimmy Lunceford is way more important than those guys. And that's saying a lot. Well, how can you make that case, Brother Ron? Because he is considered to be the first high school band director in the public schools in Memphis. Back in the 1920s, he is credited with being the first person to teach jazz studies in a formal educational setting. And he did it at a black school in what is now known as North Memphis, Manassas High. He did that back in the 20s. He was a volunteer. He was not hired to be the music educator. He was like a football coach and did everything else but teach, or was hired to teach music. But he was a gifted music prodigy. He led a college band at Fisk University. He's a Kappa man. He's a pretty boy, but he's a real man. He was tall, dark, and handsome. He dressed to the nines. He respected the women. He inspired the men, or he inspired boys to become men. He is what Judge Joe Brown would say. He was true man-upism at his finest. That's James Melvin Lunceford, known as Jimmy. And, very popular band with his high school students known as the Chickasaw Syncopators, because Jimmy Lunceford came from a very respected land-owning black family in Mississippi. Now, his folks own hundreds of acres of land outside of Fulton, Mississippi, in this community called Evergreen. So he come from people that come from prosperity. He knew his roots. He knew who he was. He was raised in Denver, Colorado. He was taught music by Wilberforce Whiteman, who was the Denver School's music superintendent, who is the father of Paul Whiteman, the king of jazz. They're named Whiteman, so they must rule over everybody and every time. But Paul Whiteman was a very commercially successful and popular band leader who commissioned George Gershwin to do Rhapsody in Blue. But his father taught not only Jimmy Lunceford, but also another great black swing band leader of the day, Andy Kirk. So these are guys he taught, and Jimmy Lunceford really was bigger than Duke Ellington and Count Basie and Cab Calloway and all those guys, Chick Webb. And when I tell people that, it blows their mind, because we all have heard, whether one way or the other, we heard of Count Basie. We heard of Duke Ellington. Duke Ellington, Duke Ellington, Duke Ellington. But we never heard of Jimmy Lunceford. And there's a reason for that. If you think about the fact that Jimmy Lunceford died at 45 under questionable circumstances. And really, we should have heard of him because of the way he died. I'm going to get to that soon. But Duke and Count lived to be almost 80 years old, and they was able to survive and make it to the TV age. But Jimmy Lunceford's orchestra was made for TV. They're very athletic. You got to remember, the core of his band were his high school students and his buddies from Fisk University. So he left Memphis and he quit his day job and left Memphis back in 1930 with some of his best high school band students. And you got to understand that Jimmy Lunceford, now they're using music to weaponize. They weaponize our music, in particular rap and hip hop, to destroy our people. Jimmy Lunceford was using music to empower, to uplift, to inspire, to heal our people. He was trained as a social worker at Fisk University, class of 1926. So he created music, or he used music, or utilized music as a rite of passage for young black boys and girls to become responsible young adults. I had the honor of speaking with Catherine Perry Thomas, Manassas High class of 1932. She is now a Righteous Ancestor star, and her brother Andrew Perry was a saxophonist in Jimmy Lunceford's high school band and turned pro with him. She said by the time, and she also was a classically trained piano player or pianist, and she used to rehearse her piano while Jimmy Lunceford rehearsed his band, the high school band. And she told me by the time them young guys graduated from high school, you thought they was 25 to 30 years old. They were so mature. And because you had a hetero black male providing them with an example of what it was to be a man, what it was to be accountable, what it was to have confidence in yourself, and what it was to be of assistance and of great help to your people. See, you had that in Jimmy Lunceford. Okay. And that's why that's no reason why he should be remembered. But 4 years later, they became the house band at the legendary Cotton Club after Duke Ellington, Cab Calloway. They became the number one attraction at the Apollo Theater for 10 years, for a whole decade, right? So he was big. And think about all the acts that came through Apollo Theater. For 10 years, Jimmy Lunceford was the top attraction at the Apollo Theater. His band, his orchestra, they wore tailor-made suits. The trumpet section would throw their trumpets in the air in unison and catch them and play where they left off at. They would sing, they would dance, they would tell jokes. You had the greatest show on earth in the Jimmy Lunceford Orchestra. And they had an amazing sound. Because sound is everything when it comes to black music. Sound had a very distinctive sound that was the envy of both black and white band leaders. No less authority than the late, great Glenn Miller, a white man, very popular. If Jimmy Lunceford was Magic Johnson, then Glenn Miller was Larry Bird when it came to the jazz swing music. Glenn Miller said that Jimmy Lunceford had the best of all bands. Duke is great. Count is remarkable. But Lunceford tops them both. But that's high praise. Because Jimmy Lunceford was the most popular band leader in orchestra. The Jimmy Lunceford Orchestra was the number one dance band for Black Americans in the country back in the 30s and 40s. It wasn't Duke Ellington. It wasn't Cab Calloway. It wasn't Earl Father Hines. It wasn't Dizzy. None of that. It was Jimmy Lunceford. It was known as the Harlem Express because it was the top. It was the best. And it had a distinctive sound. But what I love about Jimmy Lunceford, this man owned and flew his own airplanes during the Great Depression. If you've seen the movie Red Tails about the Tuskegee Airmen, if you know about the legend of Bessie Coleman, you know how much hell black folks caught back in the day for trying to learn how to fly in this country. And you want to contrast with that with Admiral Yamamoto, who's over the Japanese Navy, who planned the attack on Pearl Harbor. He went to Harvard University, and America trained him how to fly airplanes. So the guy that ended up attacking America in Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, went to Harvard University and was taught how to fly planes in America. Does that sound familiar, folks? America always trained its enemies and traitors, right? That's tradition. Go back to Benedict Arnold, whatever. Who were trying to sell West Point to the British, I believe. That's another story. But anyway, this man brought his first airplane in 1940 for what in today's money would be $500,000. A black man with that type of walking around money to buy an airplane during the Great Depression. Look at what the Great Depression, you're talking about the great inflation right now. This is the great inflation, but look up the Great Depression. This dude had walk around money to buy airplanes, and he'll fly these planes to gigs and whatnot, right? That's incredible. That's amazing. And what I love about Jimmy Lunceford was the fact that no matter how famous, big, and wealthy he got, he would come back to places like Memphis, and he did like free music concerts and musician clinics for young kids. He believed in starting music education programs to keep young black boys and girls out of juvenile delinquency. Like I said, he had a social work foundation. He had a big heart, but he loved his black people. So one of my dear friends and Jegnas, the late great Mr. Emerson Abel Jr., who was the high school band director at Manassas, during the time of Isaac Hayes, he kicked Isaac Hayes out the band, ended up working for Isaac Hayes, or the Isaac Hayes movement, S Stacks, did Y Stacks, all this stuff. He did stuff for Simmons Davis Jr. and other people like Ray Charles. He was influenced by Jimmy Lunceford's tenor saxophonist, Joe Thomas, the great Joe Thomas, very underrated, had influenced a generation of tenor saxophonists from Kansas City. And Mr. Abel ended up having a very prominent and prosperous music career in terms of music education. And he was like one of the finest tenor saxophonists I ever heard in my life. Had a great sound, was very gifted, Renaissance man, but also he's the co-founder of the Southern Heritage Classic. Yeah, the same Southern Heritage Classic that Deion said he would not play in no more with his Jackson State Tigers. I had the pleasure of seeing them play. Good game, great halftime show. But Mr. Emerson Abel co-founded the Southern Heritage Classic in his living room with Fred Jones, who used to work at Stax as well. So that history is not known, but he was a big, passionate fan of Jimmy Lunceford. And we both shared a lot of enthusiasm over Mr. Lunceford and also neglected Memphis musicians. So he passed the torch to me. And so now we're manifesting the 2022 Jimmy Lunceford Legacy Awards. Now, Jimmy Lunceford, like I said, died under very mysterious circumstances, very controversial circumstances. He was up in Seaside, Oregon, back on July 12th, 1947. He was signing autographs at a music shop next door to a venue he was going to play with his band called The Bungalow. Those structures still exist today. The Bungalow is now a mall. I went up there on the 70th anniversary of Jimmy Lunceford's untimely passing to do my own research. And I went inside the structure where his band did their last gig, not knowing that their leader was dead. Only halfway through the show, they noticed he was not there and that he was dead. And it's sad that he was poisoned by a racist restaurant owner who did not want to serve black people. Now, you gotta understand, Oregon had in state constitution. When Oregon became a state back in 1859, it had in its constitution that black folks could not work, live, or own property in the state of Oregon. This is 2 years before the Civil War. Now, black folks didn't really start moving to Oregon until, like, I guess, World War II, wartime industry. You know, they were getting jobs at the factories, building stuff, all this stuff. So a lot of black folks ended up moving to Portland around the middle of the 20th century. But for a while, there was hardly any black folks in Oregon. Like I said, I went to Oregon 5 years ago. I mean, it's beautiful. I see why white folks want to keep Oregon and the Pacific Northwest to themselves. It's gorgeous out there. And I didn't understand that Oregon had beaches because, Seaside is a beach town. It's a resort town to a degree. I believe Lewis and Clark first saw the Pacific Ocean from the shores of Seaside, Oregon. They have a statue dedicated to Lewis and Clark facing the Pacific Ocean on the beach. And I just, like, when I went to Oregon just back in July of 2017, man, those sunsets are amazing. I never seen anything like it in my life. The sunset, it was like surreal. It was amazing, man. It was amazing. It was like gorgeous. Man. But anyway, they're like, I gotta get that documentary done. It's people that already passed. I've been working on this documentary about Jimmy Lunceford for so long that people already have become righteous ancestors. So I got to get on the ball. The earth is turning really fast. Time is flying like it's nobody's business. Time for me to get serious about something. So Jimmy Lunceford died. Questionable circumstance. They say those natural causes, but a lot of people disagree with that. I think the only way probably we'll find out is that his body be exhumed, what's left of his body anyway. And I have no problem with that, even though, I mean, it's deserving of dead, but I am curious to know if he actually died from some type of poisoning or something like that. But anyway, they had a big funeral for him up in New York. People like Pearl Bailey, Sammy Davis Jr., all the who's who of black entertainment world. The black elites came out for his funeral up in New York. And he had another funeral in Memphis, and he's buried in Elmwood Cemetery. So that brings me to now. Well, I want to read the words of Nat D. Williams, one of the first black radio disc jockeys in the country. He actually started at WDIA, which was started in Memphis as the first black radio formatted station. Which I mean by that, what I mean by that, excuse me, is that it's the first radio station in the country that was formatted to entice and attract black listeners. So it was catering to black listeners, black consumers. And it was the first of its kind in the whole country. That was 1948 in Memphis, Tennessee. WDIA, where the likes of B.B. King used to be a disc jockey at WDIA. Beale Street Blues Boy, I think, right? B.B. King. So Memphis is an amazing place. Y'all don't get, it's not just crime and despair. Memphis got a powerful, magnetic history. This place is the birthplace of modern America. And I can make the case, and I make it so many times. I'm a great ambassador for Memphis. I may have to leave this city just for some peace of mind, but I love my city. But I'm a great ambassador for Memphis because I can make the case that this is the birthplace of modern America. It's easy for me to make that case. If you are a long-time listener of my podcast, vlogcast, whatever you want to call this, you know I be repping the 901 or 901 to the full on my own terms. But let me read the words of Nat D. Williams. He was a great historian. He taught at Booker T. Washington for a long time. You know, Memphis is a unique place. Like Jimmy Lunceford was a teacher, right? Memphis produced a lot of great people with backgrounds in being teachers. Jimmy Lunceford was a teacher. Nat D. Williams was a teacher. Lucy Campbell, the mother of gospel music, was a teacher. Ida B. Wells Barnett was a teacher. See, we produced master teachers in Memphis. We produced some teachers. It's like Memphis, Egypt was a place of commerce, religion, and culture. You know, Bishop Charles Mason, who I believe is buried in Mason Temple, where Dr. King did his last speech. He was born in Memphis. He started Church of God in Christ here. You understand? Holiday Inn was birthed in Memphis. The hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, say what? Was birthed in Memphis, August of 52, I believe, on Summer Avenue. Supermarket, the modern supermarket was made in Memphis, Piggly Wiggly. September 1916. FedEx was born in Memphis. Revolutionized delivery for the country and for the world. Tennessee Williams, arguably the greatest playwright America ever produced, premiered his first play in Memphis back in 1931. Thomas Edison, the gold inventor, allegedly, had a lot of brothers helping him, like Colonel Sanders had some black folks helping him with their secret recipe, a recipe of herbs and spices. He lived in Memphis at one point, Thomas Edison. I could go on and on, but let me get back to Jimmy Lunceford. And what Nat D. Williams said after the passing of this great man, and what he gave me my marching orders, like the ancestors taught to Brother Ron. Like, you know, I listen to music, I hear the music, but I hear other stuff in between the music, like ghost notes and stuff. So I've been talking. I hope y'all heard me. Run my damn mouth. I don't know, my mic was unplugged. Man, it's still the visual effects of Mercury retrograde going on. But please forgive me. I don't have the world's greatest setup, but I have some of the world's greatest listeners. And I appreciate y'all patience with me and all that good stuff and all that good jazz. But let me read what Nat D. Williams said about the legacy of Mr. Lunceford and what needs to be done. Jimmy Lunceford was buried here in Memphis. The spot he occupied should have something of a special significance. He took a group of relatively unsophisticated Memphis color boys and wielded them into an organization which scaled the heights of musical eminence. He presented something new in the way of musical presentation by Negro orchestras. Lunceford and many others like him chose to remain at home and with their people. His death should have meaning and inspiration and guidance to others. If we permit it, Lunceford's burial in Memphis can mean this. Nat D. Williams, historian and Black radio pioneer. So those are my marching orders. I take that to heart. So I've been dedicated to uplifting the legacy of Jimmy Lunceford since 2007. We're doing the Jimmy Lunceford Jimboree Festival Week since 2017. Basically, you got 7 days of basically free programming for the public. In the case of the schools, it may be hard for the public to get access to the schools. But we having free programming with really no budget. I'm doing this like a madman. Like I hear this voice telling me to keep going, that everything will fall in place. I don't know how, man, because I'm basically running on full fumes, it seems. But somehow, because of people like you all, y'all give a timely donation or something come through unexpected, I'm able to keep going. But basically, I'm on the edge of my seat, literally trying to navigate this. We got just 2 weeks. We're trying to get sponsors together. We got some sponsors, but we need help. We got talent. Memphis got a lot of talent, and we want to showcase that talent, and we want to make it accessible to the public. And also, this is an educational experience. Hopefully, we can get the sponsorships and the funding where we could actually commit to streaming this historic event for you all. And hopefully, I can support that. If y'all want that type of programming, because we're going to have a great entertainment. We're going to have gospel, hip hop, rap, blues, and jazz, dance, all represented in one night. It's going to be a celebration of Black excellence. And I hope you could join us in person. It's free. You can register at Eventbrite for the event. Or hopefully you could join us online when we streaming live. We're still working on the details. I'm not getting any sleep. So it's one of the reasons why I'm not even broadcasting on the regular. I'm working on this program. And it's going to be interesting. How it's like everybody's buying into it, but we're not only honoring Mr. Lunceford. The honorees are on this flyer. Dr. William Brewster, the great gospel composer, the guy who wrote Move On Up a Little Higher, one of gospel's first million sellers that Mahalia Jackson made famous. And also he was Elvis Presley's favorite minister. Elvis used to come to his church in South Memphis called East Trigg Baptist Church. He used to go there on Sundays to listen to the great Dr. William Brewster sing with his choir, one of the great gospel stars of all time that's not recognized like she should be, Queen Anderson. Look up Queen Anderson, one of the great gospel voices. She could have been bigger than Mahalia Jackson, but Dr. Brewster didn't let that happen, and that's another story altogether. But Dr. Brewster, prolific gospel composer, Move On Up a Little Higher, and so many other stuff. Then next to him, if you look down below that row of people, you got Lucy Campbell, the mother of gospel music, who was director of the National Baptist Convention as far as the music programming for decades. She actually trained and mentored the likes of Mahalia Jackson, as well as Black opera superstar Marian Anderson. You remember when the Daughters of the Constitution or Daughters of the Revolution would not let her sing at Constitutional Hall, and then Eleanor Roosevelt arranged for her to sing on the steps of Lincoln Memorial. She mentored Marian Anderson. She debuted Marian Anderson at the National Baptist Convention. That's Lucy Campbell, who also mentored Mahalia Jackson, who also discovered and trained Dr. King's favorite singer, who was not Mahalia Jackson, but J. Robert Bradley. Look him up, Mr. Baptist from South Memphis. From South Memphis. Dr. King loved Memphis. That's why he had to come back here. He had a love for Memphis besides the catfish and other things. But J. Robert Bradley, look him up, Mr. Baptist. Mahalia Jackson said to herself that once he sung Amazing Grace, nobody could do it better. That's high praise from D. Mahalia Jackson about J. Robert Bradley, who passed away back in 2007 in Nashville, Tennessee. So when under Lucy Campbell, then next to them, Lawrence Boo Mitchell of Royal Studios. That's the place where Al Green recorded and people, I can't stand the rain. It's my window. I can't stand the rain. O.V. Wright, Otis Clay, so many soul greats. And then you had Bruno Mars recently recorded Uptown Funk. I think it's called Uptown Funk. They did that at Royal Studios in South Memphis. Lawrence Boo Mitchell is the grandson of the late, great Willie Mitchell, the architect of the high sound, the high rhythm sound of Royal Studios, the guy who brought us Al Green. He brought us Al Green, y'all. Willie Mitchell, trumpet player extraordinaire. I think he used to play backup for Elvis every once in a while back in the day. I had a chance to meet Willie Mitchell back in 2007 at the WC Handy Awards down here on Beale Street. I took a picture with him. was a very humble guy. He was a cool cat, man. He was smooth, cool as a cucumber, just like his grandson. Smooth and cool like a cucumber. But the Grammy Award winning Lawrence Boo Mitchell. So we're gonna be honoring Lawrence Boo Mitchell as our homecoming court king, as well as the 60th anniversary of Royal Studios, who are making hits to this day, whether it be Al Green or Bruno Mars. They keep the hits coming. So also the posthumous king is Dr. William Brewster. The posthumous queen is Lucy Campbell. The living queen is the one and only Wendy Moulton, who should be a music superstar for whatever reason, but she recently had a reemergence, being a second, she was the runner-up to the winner on The Voice, and now she's on a world tour. She's heading to Down Under, and she's our homecoming court queen. A proud alumni of Overton High School. She's a rebel, and I'm a Wolverine. Rah, rah, rah. Okay? There's different mascots, but same school. Also, we got Drummer Boy, who is our prince, our homecoming court prince. There's a Jimmy Lunceford Jamboree Festival homecoming court prince. Drummer Boy, hip-hop producer extraordinaire. We're honoring his legacy, his living legacy. And I know the best is yet to come from Drummer Boy, Grammy Award-winning hip-hop producer, super producer. And one of our local gospel greats, Deborah Manning Thomas, is also being honored, along with my childhood preacher, who I did not know was a gospel music producing genius, the elder 1D Ship, who had the Divine Spirituals record label back in the 70s. He recorded all these gospel groups. He was very innovative because he introduced the wah-wah into gospel music. You can listen to recordings online, but you should check out this documentary, the Divine Spiritual documentary that came out this year with my pastor, 1D Ship, my childhood pastor who baptized me. We honor him. And also, we honoring Young Dolph, of course, with some juking, Memphis style juking. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. And we're honoring some other people as well. Jimmy Lunceford's best friend, H.D. Whalum, who was the patriarch of the Whalum family. He sung at Jimmy Lunceford's funeral in Memphis back on July 21st, 1947, and he was killed in a car accident after singing at Jimmy Lunceford's funeral that same day, and then buried in the same cemetery, not that far from each other. That's Jimmy Lunceford's best friend, who is the grandfather of the one and only Kirk Whalum, the great saxophonist, who was the saxophone soloist on Whitney Houston's immortal "I Will Always Love You." That's Kirk Whalum, the Kirk Whalum. That was his grandfather, H.D. Whalum, who was Jimmy Lunceford's best friend. Woo! So we doing all this, and it's free to you all, but it's costing me a lot. It's costing me sleep and all types of stuff, but I think it's worth it. And we got to tell our story. We got to reclaim those narratives. So thank you. And also, let me show y'all with my elder 1D Ship about this great documentary that he's in. That's about his music life journey. I had no idea that my pastor, my childhood pastor, was a music pioneer on that level. The only thing I remember when I go into his Christmas parties, they had a great sound equipment. He had great surround sound at his holiday parties, Christmas parties, when I was growing up. But I had no idea he was a music genius until a couple of years ago. They featured him on NPR. So anyway, let me find. It's a shame the way you mess around with my heart. It's a shame the way you hurt me. It's a shame. I'm trying to find. Well, I'm gonna get to the topics that I have listed out there. I know y'all anxious, so anxious, like Genuine, so anxious, and I'm anxious too. I'm so anxious too. I'm just trying to find the documentary that I was telling you about. Okay. It's a very short documentary too. It ain't gonna take up all your time. But I wanted to share this with you all, where you can find it on YouTube. Oh, man, life is interesting right now. I can't believe that I'm alive to witness some of the stuff I've been witnessing over the last several years. even before the COVID stuff hit. There's a lot of craziness going on. Gotta stay prayed up and protected. But this is like, yeah. So this is the documentary I'm talking about. That's my pastor, my childhood pastor who baptized me, the one and only, the Honorable Elder 1D Ship. He is 83 years young, and he is going. He is still in his right mind. He is still getting around pretty well at 83 years young. And this is a documentary about how he started his gospel music label, Divine Spirituals. So check it out. It's at the Bible Entire Recording Company YouTube channel. And it's just 30 something minutes long, and it won't be a waste of your time. Very, very inspiring. Even when you don't know the details of your life story, God knows all. All right. So, anyway, moving along. Let's talk about all this craziness in the news, right? Let's talk about no voting, no vucking. I said it's the Vallot or the Vullet. And that's my take on Malcolm's 1963 brilliant lecture, The Ballot or the Bullet. And I believe he delivered that November 10th, 1963. This is after the 1963 farce on Washington. And right before the chickens came home to roost, November 22nd, 1963. So it's an interesting time when Malcolm talked about his observations on who really controls the Negro movement, the Negro Civil Rights Movement, the money men, all that. He was naming names, kind of like how people are trying to expose the BLM Incorporated movement, the Black Lives Matter movement. And that's two different movements, and we're going to talk about that as well. But I think it's really sad that we were more politically sophisticated back in the 60s than we are now. That we have fallen so far. Like you look at how this with Black app, whatever dating app, how they's really been like got y'all on a spell. You know, it's witchcraft. It's witchcraft. First they said vax that thing up, and now they talking about no voting, no vucking. Yeah, I've been in the drought. I ain't worried about that. And to me, let's show you how much of a joke it is. You know, the joke is on us because I was thinking about Fannie Lou Hamer. Fannie Lou Hamer just had a birthday, October 6th. You know, she's dead, but her birthday was October 6th. Fannie Lou Hamer was number 20 of her parents' kids. She was number 20. So it took them that many tries to get one Fannie Lou Hamer, and she's one of a kind, right? Fannie Lou Hamer was one of a kind, but Fannie Lou Hamer didn't know she could vote until she was in her 40s. And once she figured out she could vote, ain't no stopping her now. She devoted the rest of her life to fighting for liberation for herself and her people. And Fannie Lou Hamer was very wise. She had a lot of common sense, which is really not common. And she understood or overstood better than most. But what's interesting, they using our celebrities, especially our musicians, our rappers, and whatever, to snake charm us into destruction, into self-destruction. Where Fannie Lou Hamer was a part of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party movement, right? They crashed the Democratic Convention up in Atlantic City back in '64. They wanted to be seated as the delegation from Mississippi with the Democratic Committee or Convention. And it's been dramatized over the years. That was an interesting summer because, you had Freedom Summer. You had the missing civil rights workers, Swarner, Cheney, and Goodman. It was found in the Earthen Dam, all that down in Mississippi. So a lot of crazy stuff going on. So, but the thing about it was, they were afraid of Fannie Lou Hamer, not just because of what she was saying to the Credentials Committee, but when she sung, it scared the hell out of LBJ, the President of the United States. They was afraid of her singing. It wasn't just her testifying. It was her ability to sing and communicate that way. She put the fear in them white folks that was calling themselves running things. They would cut to commercial breaks, from my understanding, while she was testifying. And how much they feared Fannie Lou Hamer because she was the truth. She was the undisputed truth. Smiling faces. Y'all know about the undisputed truth. Anyway, fast forward to now. They're using rap rap and rappers are being weaponized against us to destroy us, self-destruction. Your words create worlds. Your words create worlds. Casting spells. Casting spells. You think about all these rappers dying, then you listen to the content of their music, and you wonder why they're dying. They're just casualties of a war that many of them do not under, let alone overstand. So this is where we at as a people. And as I get older, I could appreciate a C. Dolores Tucker more than I could when I was a teenager or in my early 20s. Now I get where she was coming from with this. But that they say youth is wasted on the young, right? You don't know no better when you're youngin'. But now you take a couple of losses in life, because life is all about being a good loser. Because you lose at the end. You don't win in the game of life. You lose. You learn how to lose. Now you could get your little battle. You can win some battles, but in the end you lose, because you lose your life, right? But you can win. You could cheat death in other ways, but it's another story. But what I'm saying is that you think about the people that are dying now, the rappers and stuff. And we talk about Young Dolph. You talk about Tupac, P&B, Rock, XXXTentacion. They have powers that the powers that be don't want them to know that they have. You understand? Or some of them do understand the power that they have, and yet they choose to sign their lives away anyway. And that's your choice. You got free will. We all got free will. We don't have to be slaves. Kanye was right about that too. Slavery is a choice. I know y'all get upset about that. See, the thing about it is people are afraid to live their truths. And then when you see somebody else living their truth, it makes you feel insecure, because they're confident enough to put themselves out there. Kanye has the stuff he has because he's not afraid to put himself out there. He's not afraid to take a bet on himself. Even the bet against the house. He did that in fashion. I don't care for his fashion. I don't care for his shoes. But evidently, he tapped into something that people are buying stuff from him. That's the reason why he's 6 billion times rich. He's a multi-billionaire. He got more money than Jay-Z and Beyonce, for according to them folks. So I'm saying he must be doing something. He must overstand something. And then y'all be missing the gems the brother dropped about the chakras when he was on Drink Champs. He'll tell you about how they're using music to control people's moods and behavior. Y'all overlook stuff. Y'all be mad at Kanye like y'all be mad at Trump. It'd be unreasonable. And I ask you, why you mad? Kanye ain't the problem. The problem is that you paying attention to Kanye. That's the problem. And Kanye fault that the media and TMZ and all this stuff want to follow him around and make big things out of nothing. That's not on Kanye. Kanye is being used as a distraction by the powers that be. Because y'all talk more about Kanye than y'all do about the situation in Jackson, Mississippi or Flint, Michigan. About the situation in your own backyard. You care more about Kanye than you do about your grandma who raised you. About how high her medication had gotten. How high her blood pressure. And our priorities are screwed as a people. This is what I'm getting at. Malcolm overstood that celebrities were court jesters, right? He overstood that. He overstood that celebrities were court jesters there to entertain at the pleasure of the king. Y'all keep on confusing court jesters as liberators. The court jesters don't want to be free. They want to be a part of the court. They want to be in. It's like if you think about Occupy Wall Street back in 2011, they didn't say destroy Wall Street. They didn't say defund Wall Street. They didn't say dismantle Wall Street. They want to be a part of Wall Street. They want to occupy the country club. They didn't say burn the house down. They say we want to and pray for a strong wind, like Malcolm was talking about. We want to be in the house. We sick, boss. We rich, boss. We sick. What I'm saying? So this is the problem. And I think I'm jumping over the place, but let's get into this. See, Kanye told the truth about white lives matter. They matter to you. Because it's funny how black folks want to tear everything up when there's a white cop that take a black life, but what about black folks taking each other life? I ain't talking about no black on black crime. I know they don't give me the lesson. I know you kill where you live, you rob where you live. Yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying is, why is it more important? Why is your life worth more when a white person take your life versus when your own kind take your life? You call me what you want, but I think it's weird. Like even with the Emmett Till thing, y'all like it's a fetish for y'all. The Emmett Till stuff is a fetish for a lot of us because the white folks took his life. No, the black folks helped the white folks take his life. You understand? See, that's a story that don't never get told. Y'all like the white folks. No, the white folks had help from us. See, we sell each other out all the time. The Emmett Till thing. If his cousins, if Emmett told his uncle, see, y'all want to call the uncle a coward. He made a choice. Self-preservation is the number one law in nature. It's the first law of nature is self-preservation. He had to give up his nephew. And it is what it is. It is what it is because what happened, the incident happened in the Bryan store, whatever it was. They didn't come for Emmett till 4 days later. They didn't come for Emmett Till until 4 days later. They didn't come for Emmett at his great uncle Mo's right home until 4 days later. That means they had 4 days to get out of Mississippi, the whole family. Not just Emmett. Everybody would have to leave. So they said, we ain't going to tell Mo's right. So the cousins and Emmett did not tell Mo's right, and that's why he got killed. But what if they did tell Mo's right? Would the civil rights movement ever happen? Would there have ever been a Dr. King? Because you got to understand something. When Rosa Parks was sitting on that bus and refused to move from her seat, she was thinking about Emmett Till and his mutilated face. Because several days before that, Dr. Theodore Roosevelt Mason Howard spoke at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, the same church where Dr. King was the young minister at. And Rosa Parks was in the crowd listening to Dr. Howard talk about the Emmett Till tragedy. Because Dr. Howard is an unsung. I'm glad that he's finally getting the recognition recently for the amazing work he did in Mississippi and really what he did for black people in general. Dr. Howard was ran out of Mississippi and he went to Chicago, and he was one of the first black leaders to raise money for Malcolm X's family when he was assassinated. He raised money. He also gave Jesse Jackson the seed money and the support to start his Rainbow Push Coalition. And Jesse don't even talk about Dr. Howard today. They did a book on Dr. Howard, the Betos, Dr. Linda and Dr. David Beto did a book on Dr. Howard, and they reached out to Jesse. He wouldn't even speak on Dr. Howard. And this is the dude that put money behind him. Dr. Howard trained Medgar Evers and Charles Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer. He was the wealthiest black man in Mississippi. He built the first public swimming pool for black people in Mississippi. He was an amazing surgeon in Mountain Bayou, an all-black town in Mississippi. And he was the guy who helped organize the real investigation into what happened to Emmett Till. And he discovered that there were black people involved in the kidnapping, torture, and murder of Emmett Till. And yet, y'all think about Emmett Till, y'all think about Carolyn Bryant, but y'all don't think about the black folks that sold Emmett out. These black males. I interviewed Johnny B. Thomas, whose father allegedly was the one who put the bullet in Emmett's head, a black man. But there's so much to that story. But what I'm saying is, I'm all over the place. But like you go back to Fannie Lou Hamer, who got beaten into an inch of her life in Winona, Mississippi, right before they killed Medgar Evers down in Jackson. She was almost beaten to death by black inmates. Black male inmates were told by white cops to beat this woman to an inch of her life. And really what probably caused her early death was because of those injuries she sustained from getting beat up in that jail that night in Winona, Mississippi, right before they killed Medgar Evers. And yet this woman devoted herself to liberating her people. She created farming co-ops. She created affordable housing where black folks had a path to home ownership. This woman had no college degree. I don't think she had a high school degree, but she was very intelligent. Very intelligent woman. She was the one that handled the payroll and all that stuff on the plantation. She knew how to count. She's very gifted in mathematics. But what I'm saying is she had a better understanding of where we need to go as a people. And it was so much closer. We were so much closer back in the 70s to where we needed to be as a people than we are now. Because first, Fannie Lou Hamer still had connections to the land. The farming co-ops. No, she's buried down in Ruleville. See, we should be treating the burial site of Fannie Lou Hamer like they treat Elvis' burial place at Graceland. She should be revered, and not only should she be revered, but also study what she was trying to do and the things she got done. Study her mistakes, study her successes, and also study the work that needs to be done to add to that legacy. See, we don't even understand that we are screwed up as a people right now. Y'all talking about reparations, this and that. We can't get on one accord on anything. And when I say that, I'm not talking about all of us getting together because we all are different tribes. Just like the Irish got their thing, the Italians got their thing, the Jews got their thing, even with Asians. You know, Koreans got their thing, the Vietnamese, the Thai, whatever, Laotian, whatever. See, well, black folk, we think all of us got to be on. No, I want to get with my tribe. Whoever that tribe may be, that's who I need to be working with. And like the work of the few benefit the whole. But yeah, white lives matter. The joke's on us because, you know, y'all mad at Kanye because Kanye telling all the secrets. He telling all the secrets that be talked about at the barbecue and the barbershop. That's what y'all really mad about. He exposing the fact that we really don't want to be separated from white folks. We love white people. We love white folks at all costs. We love white folks to our own detriment. And white folks told y'all there was something wrong. Y'all thought it was something wrong with y'all. White folks said, keep away, whites only. We sick. They kept on telling we sick, man. Stay away from us. And y'all, oh, we got to love and turn our other cheeks, turn all our cheeks, and you turn us inside out. Upside down, inside out. Yo, y'all just love giving it up. But then you get mad at your cousin because he owe you $5 from 5 years ago. You want to kill your cousin. The white man that raped your ancestors, that stole your land, stole your businesses, kidnapped your daughter, and you are, oh no, God said forgive because Jesus is love. Jesus is love. Right? Y'all be up. When it comes down to forgiving your kinfolk that owe you $40, you can't do that. You about to catch a case over $40. Somebody you knew your whole life. You're gonna kill a person. People, I heard a story about people killing folks over pizza slices and chicken wings. This is how sick of a people we are. But I'm saying, and sickness is a choice. I ain't gonna say all of us because we said we got to get. No, ain't no we. We don't have to. It's like you got to get yourself together. Like Dilly Fuller said, you are a corporation. You need to create bylaws. You need to have your own moral compass. You as an individual need to discipline yourself. It's not about we as a people. Yes, we as a people, but you as an individual, you as your own corporation, you as your own entity must find a way to regulate what you need to regulate about you. Because my thing is, I get older now, you can't control what people think about you. You can control how you view yourself. You can deprogram, detox, and reboot how you view yourself. You could do that. There's your responsibility is not to try to control and figure out other people. You have an obligation and responsibility to figure out and learn about you, to know what motivates you, your fears, your desires, your wants, your needs. Your mission should be learn about you so you can do more to benefit other people. You, me, myself, and I need to be of service to myself first before I can be of service to anybody else. It's like I'm learning even with the Jimmy Lunceford thing. I can't get upset about everything that's out of my control. I can't play small ball or be small-minded or get upset every time things don't go my way. People I thought would come through don't come through. It is what it is. People got their reasons. But whatever is for you to have, learn how to conspire with the universe. Learn how to work with the universe. Learn how to accept things that you have no control over. Learn how to dream big and do big in spite of the odds. because I believe, and I practice this, that if you do things in a sincere way and spirit, things have a way of working out. And people, you leave the people wondering how the hell he pulled it off again. Like, we put up roadblocks, we said no, and he still pulled it off. That's what my life is right now. That's where I'm at right now. Because I want to do things I want to do, because life is really short. I don't care if you're only 1 day old or 100 years old. Living to be 100 is not enough. And time is moving. So why are you not moving in the way you want to move? And why is that Kanye the problem? Why y'all get upset by the bust of vessel over Kanye? Kanye living his life. Kanye doing Kanye. Kanye provoking thought. See, the thing about it, like what I told the dental assistant, or the dental assistant told me, she don't want to think about certain things. And it's people like me, they call me bad news at family reunions and all this. Oh, brother Ron, you make us think. It's not because I'm a bad guy or a malicious person or evil, and that's subjective, but it's because the fact that I exist and the things I do forces you to think about stuff that you rather not think about. You rather watch the Lakers implode or the Dallas Cowboys trick you into thinking they're gonna win the Super Bowl than to actually deal with the reality of your situation, because you're not living in reality, you are living a fantasy. And that's the real conspiracy. The fact that you think that your reality is real and it's BS. The fact that you could worry about these celebrities and what they doing and saying and not saying and what they wearing, instead of trying to figure out, how am I going to improve myself? How can I stop these kids from breaking into my car, into my home, and violating my peace of mind? See, Jimmy Lunceford had the answer. Attn Wells had the answer. Malcolm had the answer. But we don't like people like this when they walking around, because that means that what they tell us, means we are accountable, that we have some responsibility for the condition that we are in. That we can't get a handout, you need a hand up, and you get it yourself. But it takes too much. See, the thing about it is, I realize I ain't everybody's cup of tea. And I also realize everybody don't like tea. There's a lot of people that do like tea. There's a lot of people that don't like tea, and that's fine. So this is where I'm at right now. It's like, let me do what I got to do. Let me tell y'all something. We don't want to be free. Because we have too much time to critique a man that many of us don't really know. Kanye, it's not even about his message. It's about the fact he's the one saying it. If Brad Pitt said that, how will y'all respond to that? See, like, it's not about the message. It's about the message with you all, when it should be about the message. I always tell you about my mailman theory, where if your mailman is a crackhead, a meth addict, all that stuff, a degenerate, but his job as the mailman is to deliver your mail, do you A, go to the mailbox and get the mail for you, or do you B, follow this man on his route every day instead of going to your mailbox, minding your business, getting what's there for you, instead of trying to figure out what he's doing on his breaks and lunches or whatever on his route? See, we don't mind our business. And mindfulness is important, being mindful. But a lot of y'all ain't mindful. Y'all just spaced out. A lot of y'all not productive. Y'all just busy, being spaced out, not minding your business. Because a lot of things, I don't know if y'all get, the world was weird like this. Like, crime does pay. You know that, right? I figured it out after getting my car broken into twice, or attempted breaking in first time, actually getting broken into second time, less than 2 months. It's that everybody's making money, but the person who think there's no conspiracy. Glass company making a killing off of us, man. They making a killing. Insurance companies making a killing off the civilian, off the casualties of war. A lot of us don't die right away. We die slow, painful death. We die slow death, a lot of us. But because the way they make money is by killing you slowly, not always killing you right away. They kill you slowly through the poison, whether it be your air, food, water, whatever, the lotions, the baby powder, whatever they want to do, and y'all go along for the ride, and y'all don't want to think about that. But y'all worry about Kanye talking about white lives matter, but you ain't worried about that talcum powder you putting on your baby's bottom, or you putting on yourself and your privates. And they already told you what that's about. But yeah, you trust down the same folks that approve the foods that make you sick, so you can take the drugs to make you sicker. Those people, those sickos. Where do you think these Nazis went after World War II? They came over here. Operation Odyssey, Operation Paperclip. Take a look. It's all online. And it's a trip. And that's a good tip. So start thinking. Why is it that they want you to be mad at a person you don't even know? And what is it about Kanye that bothers y'all? Is the fact that he exists and what he's saying is creating cognitive dissonance for you all? And that's what it is. He getting y'all to think he's a thought provocateur like I am. Y'all don't want to think. Y'all just want to go, watch the latest movie, even The Woman King. A lot of y'all don't want to think, y'all in denial about that. But the thing about it is, I ain't gonna protest everything. I'm gonna use that anger to create something I want to see. Like the Woman King thing, it's almost like what happened with the Birth of a Nation. D.W. Griffith's classic, anti-black racism porn, snuff film, Birth of a Nation. It came out in 1915. That led to the actual rebirth of the Klan, the reemergence of the Klan, was shown in the White House. And President Woodrow Wilson said it was like writing history with lightning. The same President Woodrow Wilson that black leaders told y'all to vote for back in the days. Same one. I don't know. They say he was the second coming of Lincoln. Woodrow Wilson didn't learn how to read until he was like 12 years old. But yeah, he was brilliant. The president of Princeton at one point, was the governor of New Jersey. But he actually went to school. He was college classmates with Thomas Dixon, who was a very prominent evangelical priest, whatever, preacher man. Very prominent. He was like as big as Joel Osteen in his time. And I'm not saying Joel Osteen is a Klansman. I'm just saying that's how well known he was. He had a church, I believe, in New York, where Theodore Roosevelt was one of his parishioners, whatever you call it, church members at one point. But he went to school with Woodrow Wilson. The Klansman, the book he wrote, led to the movie Birth of a Nation. And Woodrow Wilson said, he had the screen at the White House, said it was like writing history with lightning, because it was all so true, which it was not. But you had people like William Monroe Trotter, who's forgotten about, one of our great agitators, activists, journalists. He had the Guardian up in Boston. He led basically a one-man crusade against the movie Birth of a Nation. He would picket the movie theaters and all this stuff. And I have a lot of respect with William Monroe Trotter, because before even Kanye called out George W. Bush about how he don't care about black people, y'all give Kanye the benefit of the doubt, because Kanye is in a stratosphere. He's in a space a lot of us would never experience. It's like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson went to a space that a lot of us could not even comprehend. And so they're going to take you through some psychological trauma. They're going to terrorize you, Get Out style. So the fact that Kanye is still walking around after dealing with Kardashians show you that he ain't the average Negro, okay? Because this man's still functioning, and he's more successful after dealing with a Kardashian. And really, the Kardashian, they want him back. You know what I'm saying? Kim Kardashian, she ain't nothing without Kanye West. Kim Kardashian was made by black men. Black men made Kim Kardashian. OJ, Ray J Bush, Kanye, they made Kim Kardashian. That's the power of a black man. So Kanye say things. People react to those things he say. People react to those things they say not because they're not true, because they're too true. They're too raw. You don't want to deal with that. It's a lot of contradictions with us as a people. Slavery was a choice. And yeah, I know the stories. I'm from the South. I know all that stuff. What did Patrick Henry say, one of the founding fathers? He said, give me liberty or give me death. Slavery is a choice. You didn't have to be a slave. You could die. You could kill yourself. You know, he had black women back in the day killing their babies because they didn't want them to be slaves. I ain't talking about no, Roe v. Wade stuff. I'm talking about they were killing their babies because they didn't want their babies to grow up as a slave. That book, Beloved, by Toni Morrison is based on that. Oprah Winfrey with her feet, in that movie with Danny Glover feet, or I don't know. Anyway, it was a long time. But you always have a choice. You may not like the choices that you have. Now, that's a different story. You always have a choice. I don't care how dire your situation is. You look at the movie Saw. You always have a choice. The dude in Saw always gave him a choice. You may not like the options, but you always had a choice. You always got a choice in life, right? So my thing is, I like what Oscar Micheaux did. Instead of him complaining about a movie called Birth of the Nation, he did his own movie with Fannie Gates, the Answer Back movie. I would recommend y'all look at Birth of a Nation, the original one, not the other one that came out by Nat Turner. That one should be looked at too. But look at that, the D.W. Griffith Birth of a Nation, and also look at Oscar Micheaux with Fannie Gates and compare and contrast the two. See, that's where I'm in life. I'm through with the protests. There's a lot of wasted energy. I protest by manifesting an alternate reality where I am the lead. I am the director, the producer, the associate producer, all that stuff. Your life is your movie. I refuse for my movie to be limited to a so-called protest song. I will be celebrating me. And I will be celebrating things and people that move me. They let me know that I'm still alive and I still got a lot left in the tank. So I want to encourage y'all, stop letting these media people control you. Just even with the no voting, no bucking thing. Trina and them, and I grew up on Trina and Trick Daddy, all that stuff. Trina is a rap pioneer. She's of the blueprint for she's one of the blueprints for the Nicki Minaj's and the Cardi B's and the Meg Thee Stallions. But the thing about it is, the Saucy Santana guy, I don't really care about that. It don't bother me. It doesn't bother me because if people are that pea-brain to allow these things to influence them, then so be it. And really, good riddance, because we don't need you. But the thing about it is that even you go like would take your butt to the polls type of thing and all that stuff. See, this y'all care too much about what white folks think about you. That was really about. We care too much because, like, anytime I remember, sometimes I be having meetings with black people, and we'll talk about, let's do something that's gonna help us out. And then it always be one person. Well, what did the white folks gonna do? I don't care what they do, and they don't really care what you do. But I know what we need to be doing, and yet you don't want to do that because you talking about these phantom white friends that you have. You don't have no white friends, and y'all be falling for people. People tell you, well, don't leave your kids with white people. A lot of y'all got mixed families. You got white folks at the family reunion with the potato salad with the raisins in them. You eating it up like it's like your mama's dressing from Thanksgiving. So yeah, I mean, I don't follow people. I really don't. I don't have these. This is so and so my hero. I remember a girl telling me in college that I liked. She said, "Ron, you don't like me. You like the thought of what I represent. Don't put me on a pedestal." Took me almost 42 years to understand what she was saying or understand how I get it. Stop putting these folks on a pedestal. Get to know people, but get to know them as a person. Don't fall in love with the idea of a person, but get to know the actual person. Then you have a better understanding of the human condition. Like I said, once you get to know people, then you can understand why people should never disappoint you. And really, it's on you to save yourself. Nobody can save you. Nobody. Y'all keep on some of the next Malcolm Martin. They couldn't save themselves. If they could save themselves, they would have still be here. They would still be here, right? So why are you looking for folks that can't save themselves to save you? The number one law in nature is self-preservation, like with Emmett Till's uncle. He did what was the right thing for his family to survive. Yeah, I mean, his niece, that's our only child, but it is what it is. They should have told him 4 days before that happened. Before, I'm not laughing at that, but I'm saying there's a lot of stuff. It's like, we couldn't even hold them accountable. Jews say never forget the Holocaust. Never forget. They hunt down Nazis. They don't care if they're on an oxygen tank, they're 101 years old in a wheelchair in hospice. They still going to get their justice. We can't even hold the government accountable for what happened to black folks in Katrina. We still haven't resolved Katrina. I know we think because the Saints won a Super Bowl. That's how silly we are. Well, they won a Super Bowl. But yet your Uncle Charles is still missing. Aunt Linda is still missing. Your cousin James that was in that jail, he's still missing. And nobody talks about this. Cynthia McKinney talked about what they were doing to black folks during Katrina. And y'all destroyed Cynthia McKinney's career. Y'all said she was crazy. Then I remember videos coming out. White folks said we're going on raccoon hunting. You had white folks in these parishes around New Orleans going coon hunting. Then you remember that when the black folks trying to escape New Orleans, it was all like the lost city of Atlantis. And the white folks told them to turn around on that bridge at gunpoint. Then you had the situation with the Danziger Bridge. We had police killing black folks. Then they found that black dude's body burnt out in the car. The police did it. Ain't no telling how many folks got killed. And then you had Bill O'Reilly and people like that on day 1 or day 2 talking about people eating folks down in New Orleans. We was just eating Popeyes 24 hours ago, idiot. How am I going to go from eating Popeyes and red beans and rice to eating people the next day like Jeffrey Dahmer? That don't even make no sense. And if somebody says you should do Jeffrey Dahmer, look, I got a lot going on. If y'all want actually for me to do some of these videos y'all want me to do, y'all know the deal. Cash App your boy. Google Pay, PayPal, Zelle your boy up. Buy some art of his art. Buy shirts. Then YouTube really trying to get me out of here. They've been removing my videos that I did over 10 years ago about strange fruit that happened in Mississippi. I ain't talking about no 1955 stuff that happened in 2010. And now they say they're removing these videos because they fear for my life that I might self-harm myself. I said, man, them videos over a decade years old, and I'm still here. It's 2022. And those videos have nothing to do with what they say it had to do with. I appealed it, and they still took it down. Gave me some community strikes. So if you really want to keep in touch with me, because I don't know how long this is going to go on YouTube, email me your contact at weallbe@gmail.com. That's weallbe@gmail.com. I'm creating a list. Because I don't know, man. They trying to get rid of Brother Ron. Y'all got love Brother Ron, but Brother Ron be struggling. I be giving away stuff for the people. Like Dick Gregory told me, and Dick's Dick's birthday coming up on October 12th. But he said I was the feeder. He said, when you want to go on vacation and get that plane ticket, don't get that plane ticket. Don't go on vacation. Use that money to bring what the people need to hear from somebody that got something for them that they need to get. You the feeder, huh? You the feeder. Something to feed. I'm feeding everybody. And it's costing me stuff. And the thing about it is, I love talking with the people. I love giving people stuff. But it's weird, man. I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that, are agents because they be popping up in certain times of my life, on my timeline. Things be happening over here and then something else happening. Like, I remember, YouTube recently removed a video. I did an interview with somebody. And they suspended me from live streaming or uploading. That's why I was missing that week in September. I was going to October. Almost to October. I got back on the end of September. And they suspended me this past September for a whole week on an old video from a year ago. Talking about I was doing medical disinformation or medical misinformation. I said we're just having a candid talk. We didn't pose as no medical experts and all like that, but it said it violated the community guidelines, went against the narrative, so they suspended me, gave me a strike. removed my shelf. They removed my Teespring shelf from below the description box. I didn't know that till really around the time they suspended me. That's been removed. They blocked that. So I mean, they really trying to get rid of me. And I've been doing this for like a year and some change. I'm speaking out about it, and we see what happens. But I appealed things, but like that day they suspended me and took down that video in question. The dude that interviewed me called me the same day. I'm like, what the heck? Like, okay, I said, dude, they just took down the video that we did a year ago that I uploaded not too long ago. Yeah, whatever. Let me holler at Judge Joe Brown. Okay, I put him in touch with Judge Joe Brown. But I just thought that was interesting that he would call me that day to request connecting him with somebody the same day that my video that we did together got removed. Just because I'm paranoid don't mean I'm not somebody's watching me. Okay. So y'all don't have no appreciation when you a so-called public figure, like people recognize me for whatever weird reason. And you don't know what they want. You don't know how they looking at you, like, you think I owe you money? I be joking. Did I sleep with your woman? Do I owe you money? Why you look at me like that? I'll be in checkout line. Oh yeah, you brother Ron. Okay, I thought that was you, bro. So, yeah, I don't know who you are though. Okay, it's cool, but it's a crazy time to be alive right now. But I don't look at no Trina as no Fannie Lou Hamer. I don't look at no Saucy Santana as even a James Baldwin. Hell, I don't even look at him like that. I don't look at. I mean, they got their plays, their distractions, their court jesters, like Malcolm said many years ago on the UC Berkeley talk show. Court jesters, trumpet players, jugglers, singers, poets. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, they not a threat. They're not a threat. I mean, when y'all was upset about Lil Wayne, he had that line in his one of his raps. I mean, beat that kitty cat up like Emmett Till. And y'all got upset. Y'all was outraged. Y'all was outraged by Nicki Minaj posing like Malcolm, or that famous pose with Malcolm with the gun looking out the window. And she did something. She appropriated that. And y'all got upset. Y'all just fake mad. Cause y'all. If y'all saw Nicki Minaj walking into the street or walking in your room, oh, that's Nicki Minaj. Y'all just fake anger with Kanye. If Kanye came into your home, you lose your mind. Sign my Yeezy, yay! Sign my Yeezy taught me. Who taught you how to sign your shoes and buy clothes in a garbage bag at a retail store? Yeezy taught me. Yeezy taught you good. Okay. Anyway, that was a blue dress, but no, man. I just I can't take us seriously, man. That's why they laughing. The reparations could happen if we was more serious minded. We not serious about anything. Cause y'all asked the wrong, why you don't like me? Cause black folks think politics is all about liking. Ooh, I think they like me. No, real politics is about getting stuff done. It's about getting things done. It's about getting resources, getting things done, having an agenda. Voting is not important if they don't count your votes. When they don't count your votes, they counting you out. The people who run stuff don't need your vote to get power. You understand that the people that have real power ain't wasting their time campaigning for your vote. The folks who set the real policy, who implement things, they don't care about pandering to you. You don't care about you. See, what the boomers messed up is a lot of the boomers, and I love my boomer relatives, they really been babyfied. They babies, man, because like they had it so good where a lot of them could work one job and that's it. And they was able to provide for their family. They got lulled to sleep over Social Security. They believe that freedom means you must have a security blanket. Real freedom you don't have Social Security when you have real freedom. You don't have a retirement plan when you have real freedom. The real freedom. You listen to the slave narratives. And y'all should listen to the slave narratives. Because there's one where a brother said if he had to go back to slavery, he'd blow his head off. even all them hardships he experienced after being emancipated, he still would not go back to slavery. Well, yeah, some folks they refused to leave the plantation. I met a dude at Mayor Shockley Lamoma's funeral down in Jackson, and I wish I recorded. He was a elder. He said he was a runaway slave. I said, wait a minute, runaway slave, man. This is what year was this? I think it was 2014 when Shockley Lamoma died. This dude tell me he was a runaway slave. I said, you a runaway slave? Yeah, man. I ran off the plantation when I was a teenager. And I want to say this back in the early 50s. I think it was early 50s. He ran off the plantation in Mississippi. He said his folks, all he knew was a plantation. And his folks couldn't leave, but something told him he wanted to leave the plantation. There was something more for him out there. He had the same spirit of a Harriet Tubman and a Frederick Douglass. And in that turn, he knew there was more to life than living on the plantation. And he tried to get, he was the youngest of his mom's children. And he tried to get his older brothers and sisters leave. They wouldn't leave. They didn't finally leave the plantation until the owner of the plantation died and the family kicked them off the plantation. This is the middle of the 20th century, y'all. So this dude ran away, ended up having a successful business as a carpenter. One of his kids became a nurse, doing well for herself. Another kid went into like the media business. I think they were working at NBC at one point. But he actually made a life for himself. And his kids were doing pretty well. And I don't know why I didn't interview him. I was so tired because I was like breaking in my new Stacey Adams. I was on my feet for like 10 plus hours, recorded and walking around some new Stacey Adams, breaking them in. And I didn't get home till like really late at night. But that story stayed with me. So they go back with Kanye say slavery is a choice. Once you know better, you should want to do better. Fannie Lou Hamer, once she figured out she could vote, even if she was in her 40s, she chose to vote and she was kicked off the plantation when she lived most of her life. They beat her to an inch of her life and she still kept it on, eyes on the prize. Put her life on the line for some freedom, for some real freedom, self-determination. So when I see all this outrage about Kanye, I know we're not serious because Kanye ain't a problem. Kanye is not a problem. He is not. Distraction, yes, but why is it distraction? Because y'all like to look at car wrecks. People love car wrecks. That's human nature. That's why I'm not disappointed. Because I remember morning rush hour, right? And in Memphis, expressway, real bad car accident. On the left side of me, real bad car accident, real bad car pile up. I saw another lane, dude was on the phone looking at the accident. He ran into the back of a car that was in front of him, caused another accident. This is what we're doing. We're being so distracted that we're not paying attention to what is in front of us. We're not mindful. And this is what happened. That's why I know we're not serious. People talking about rallies. That stuff costs money. Like y'all be spending like thousands of dollars for nothing, man. Because really the real power is all local. Organized, like all that, let's go to Washington. That's nothing about ego, man. That's all about ego. It's nothing to be done marching around and being outside and listening to people talk about stuff and not doing stuff. The power is the ability to have ideas and to manifest the ideas, not to just talk about the ideas or talk about the idea of having an idea, but actually having ideas and manifesting these things. This is where I'm at right now. I'm working on solutions and I have no fanfare. People hate my guts. It's people, I be posting things that's not about my ego, but it's going to help other folks. And folks refuse to share the things that I post in their groups. And then they'll wait days or even a week later to post the thing but it happened a week ago. And they say they're my friends. They say that your friends. It's like with Dr. King, his biggest enemies were not the Klansmen or even the FBI, it was other black ministers. Other black ministers were Dr. King's biggest issue. Read his letter from Birmingham jail. Who did he address that letter to? Dr. King was a Montgomery bus boycott leader. They told his daddy King to go to Alabama and get your son and bring his ass back to Ebenezer. And Dr. King refused. And luckily he had a strong wife in Coretta that stood by him. And I remember reading something Daddy King said, I'm glad my son didn't listen to me. He said that years later. On reflection, I'm glad my son did not follow me back to Atlanta. So Dr. King had a choice. Well, if he had followed his daddy back to Atlanta, he probably would have lived a long life. Whatever. People make choices, man. Life is about choices and the consequences of those choices. But my thing is this, people making all this content. I hate going on this a lot of times to talk about stuff that's not really worth talking about. People talk about R. Kelly, but yet people still love the Pope. You talk about Tiffany Haddish, but yet people still watch Hollywood movies. You talk about symptoms, but you don't want to deal with the problem. Malcolm was talking about solutions. They got rid of Malcolm. They made Huey go crazy talking about solutions. Because this is a puzzle or riddle that's not meant to be solved. Like even now with the work that I'm doing in the city, I'm not just a YouTube activist. I do have a real nonprofit. We do have work we do out here. I have the receipts, documentation. And it's tough to actually walk the walk and talk the talk and chew gum at the same time. Man, people they don't, family, friends, and so-called friends, strangers. Weird thing about it is when I pass on to glory, there's gonna be folks that I love Ron Hurd. I knew that brother. I actually knew Ron Hurd, and Ron Hurd was a great man. And I ain't gonna hear all that. I'll be going somewhere. Be women out here naming their kids after me. Nice, beautiful women, educated. Oh, I wish I'd had a time machine to meet Ron Hurd. But I'm dead. I'm going somewhere. Another matrix. Another alternate reality. It is what it is. I just know it. Like I said, so the no voting, no vucking. I ain't vucking anyway. I ain't vucking. But I do vote. I ain't vucking. Vuck if you vuck. Vuck if you vuck. I'm not vucking, man. All that voting crap, and these people so weak-kneed and spongy spine, and it's people my age I'm disappointed in. Not really. They so sorry. The young black professionals, they weak. Sorry. See, I went to my class reunion, this program I was part of, John B. Urban Scholars. John B. Urban was the first black dean at Washington University. That's the Harvard of the Midwest. George Bush's grandfather went there, Herbert Walker, George Bush Sr.'s grandfather, who financed the World Fair in 1904 in St. Louis. And they have a lot of presidential and vice presidential debates at WashU. I was there at the Al Gore, George W. Bush debate back in 2000. Class 2002, but I went back, and it was interesting because people it's some people that have respect for me. It's funny. I've been doing this type of stuff. I've been doing for 20 plus years. 20 plus years I've been doing this. Not just the podcasting, but the artivism. 20 plus years. Never had made any real money. Never. One year the IRS talk about that one fluke year, and now they on my head. But never made no real money. Don't have a wife or children, whatever to speak about. I don't know if I have any children. I don't, to my knowledge. But yeah, I'm still here, and I've been consistent. And my peers respect it. Some don't like me, but they respect me because I've been consistent. For better or for worse, I had my screw-ups, I had my mistakes, but I'm still here. 20 plus years in. Never had no real money. Doing unbelievable stuff with limited resources, but an unlimited belief in myself and what I'm doing, what I feel like I was called to do. And now we're heading to a new chapter. Now I'm interested to see how the other folks live. But I'm not interested in seeing how they do that by selling out my people, by selling out my tribe. So this is where I'm at. I'm at the crossroads. I want to keep on doing this impactful work. And I want to reciprocate. I want to get something back in return. Because we don't really care about the people that care about us. I realize that as I get older, as I get deep into what I'm doing, it's very like the people who are the most selfish people get everything. It seems like the people who are selfish, self-centered, they're mean, cruel, they gain the respect of the world. It's their own the victims, the people that they terrorize, respect them more than the person who's trying to free them. And that's why I say you got to free yourself. There's nobody, even the Jesus thing. The idea of Jesus is nice to a lot of people. He died for our sins. But if Jesus was in the flesh and said, you know what? I want y'all to be accountable. Screw you, man. Go die again. As a matter of fact, we're going to help you. We're going to lynch you, man. You know, like all that. Anybody that holds us accountable and say, you know what? We got to elevate that standard. No, we don't want to do that. We want to have it all. But you can't have it all without a cost. When you try to have it all, you lose it all. You understand? Or you overstand. So with the fact that people can have serious conversations about the no voting, no bucking thing is really, really interesting. So that people don't really have a lot going on in their lives. I remember I ran across this girl, this young lady in her 20s, through one of these dating app things, and she would text me what I'm doing. I said, I'm being productive. Then she right back, I'm bored. I said, you 20 something. Why are you bored? I mean, you're not, well, I'm never bored. I'm always got some crazy stuff going on, happening to me, or making things happen. I'm never bored. I'm a grown man. I'm always doing something. There's always something happening. I'm always traveling. I'm always doing work. I'm always creating art, talking this talk that I'm talking. I have a very full life, even though it's just me, myself, and I for the most time, but I'm not bored. I'm trying to figure out why this young lady bored. You know, it's not my responsibility to make your ass not bored or to make you happy. This is your responsibility to find something meaningful and to be productive and to be happy. Happiness is a choice. Abraham Lincoln said happiness is a choice from my understanding. And he was miserable. That means he chose to be miserable. But also he could choose to be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Right? So my thing is, I'm not responsible. I got relatives that I love, but we don't talk. You know, we supposed to be close, but we ain't. And I remember one of my relatives say, you know, have you talked to so-and-so? I said, no. I said, well, you know, I said, yeah, I know, but I love them from afar. Not because I'm being hostile or negative towards them, because they don't want to receive me. But I wish them the best. I can't worry about my loved ones like that. I refuse to worry about myself like that. I refuse to feel sorry for myself. And I won't put up with the self-pity because life is just too short. I mean, it's over before it begins, right? It's like 100 years now, nobody gonna care about you being depressed that day and all this stuff. The Cowboys lost again and you was depressed for a week. Nobody gonna, luckily, if they remember you at all. You know, or if they do remember you, it won't be you. It'll be somebody's interpretation or reinvention of you. That's how they do it. It's like the Emmett Till movies I look at. I like them. Thank you, Brother George. We love you, madly. Thank you for appreciating the work, Brother George. We love you, madly, for the cash out. But I'm saying, but even when I look at the Emmett Till movies and the TV show Women of a Movement, y'all are like, that's the facts. That's an interpretation of truth. Cause my thing I said in my review of the Emmett Till movie, my friend Keith Beauchamp did, and I enjoyed it, but how I gonna leave out U.S. Representative Charles Diggs like he didn't exist? Y'all don't even know who U.S. Representative Charles Diggs was. Man was a very well-known, high-profile black leader back in the day. He was up there in Congress with Adam Clayton Powell Jr. He came to the Emmett Till murder trial down in Mississippi. He stayed with Dr. T.I.M. Howard and Mammy Till. But yet, when you look at these movies and TV shows, he is not mentioned. He is not represented. I'm glad they represent Medgar Evers. I'm glad they represent Sister Ruby Hurley. And really, you know, they haven't did her justice because she was a good-looking woman. And no disrespect to the actors or actresses, but I'm saying she was interesting. Look up Ruby Hurley, man. Damn. But anyway, how you gonna leave out U.S. Representative Charles Diggs? Let me find a picture. And I'm glad Dr. T.R. Howell is getting his recognition. Wait a minute, what's going on? It's breaking news. What's happening, y'all? A$AP Rocky murdered. Is that true, y'all? A$AP Rocky out of here? Let me see. A$AP Rocky, he dead? Is that true? I was looking at damn, it's crazy year, man. God. Damn, what the hell? What's going on? Seems like he's still alive. I saw this weird thing about A$AP Rocky being dead. Okay, maybe there's something weird. It's fake news. Kanye West, man, he's snitching on everybody. Come on, A$AP Rocky cheat on Rihanna. But anyway, let me get back focused. That's a distraction. MK Ultra is real, y'all. You know, a lot of people know Charles Manson was an inspiring musician. He actually was pretty decent. Y'all need to check out Charles Manson's music. You know, he was close to Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys at one point. He wanted to become a music star. And a lot of people think that he tried to murder Dennis Wilson. Luckily he moved or whatever like that. But Charles Manson claimed to his dying day that he was CIA, that he was sent by the Central Intelligence Agency. You know, think about Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was killed over pillow talk. She knew too many top secret details, and they had to get rid of her. And they called her suicide. They'll suicide you, right? Suicide is a suicide. Look up this Dr. T.I. Howard, Henry Till, and Charles Diggs. I'm trying to make a point, y'all. Stop letting Hollywood dictate our history. We gotta reclaim the history. That's what I'm doing with this Jimmy Lunceford stuff. I'll show y'all the picture. Then I'm gonna get out of here. I know I'm talking loud. Wait a minute. That's not a good picture. Okay, let me make it big. And I know you said runs all over the place. There's so much to cover, but I do jump all over the place. But this is the nature of what we have. A lot of attention deficit disorder going on with the people by design. Okay. Y'all see the picture, right? She got Mammy Till. Let's see. Got Mammy Till up there. Dr. Howard is holding her by the arm. And the gentleman next to him is U.S. Representative Charles Diggs from Michigan, from Detroit. And he was a very prominent leader, man. It's like, you know, it's like if Shirley Chisholm came to the trial, and yet they omitted that Shirley Chisholm was there. And he was there. This man was a congressman, and they'll call him boy and worse now in Mississippi. This man was a congressman from Michigan, right? But like even in my friend's brother Keith's movie, and also the Women of the Movement series, he's non-existent. They took the time to put Roy Wilkins in there and some other folks, but why not U.S. Representative Charles Diggs, who actually stayed with Dr. Howard and Mammy Till during the trial? So that's why we got to dig up and know our stories and tell them from our perspective. So, yeah. There's a lot going on, folks. Y'all be safe out there. But back then, Dick Gregory, them guys knew their place. Dick Gregory knew that he was not supposed to be the face of the movement. That he supposed to have been supporting the folks who were the face of the movement, whether it be Medgar Evers or Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Harry Belafonte understood that when the Kennedys went out to get him to be the face for the black vote, get out the black vote campaign they were trying to do. He said the person you need to be talking to was in a work farm, prison, whatever, down in Alabama, in Georgia, about to be killed. And that person he was talking about was Dr. King. And Jackie Robinson, who was a Republican, because a lot of black folks were Republicans back then, he was trying to get Richard Nixon, the vice president of the United States, and also the Republican presidential candidate, to be the one to get King out of prison. To connect with King, he wouldn't do it. And they said that Jackie Robinson had tears rolling down his eyes, said, "You just don't get it, don't you? You just don't understand." And shout out to his wife, Rachel. And Rachel Robinson just turned 100 years old last year. I think she's still around. But they said he just don't get it. And they stressed Jackie Robinson out. Jackie Robinson, by the time he died, I think he was in his 50s. They thought he was like 80 years old. He was all messed up. No white folks turned Jackie Robinson out. But anyway, these people don't care about us, but we care about them. And how do you understand what type of relationship where is this a healthy relationship to love somebody that hates you? To be in a relationship like that, what are the psychological, physical, and spiritual effects of being in a relationship with a person that you love but they hate you? And you've been in a relationship for like generations. What do you think will be the compound effects of that? It's interesting. This is what we're looking at right now. This is what we're watching. Because a lot of our issues is because we want to be with them at all costs. At all costs. Y'all don't mind paying the cost unless your cousin Ray owe you $5. Then when you want to kill a nigga, a naga or coon. Anyway, I think I ran my mouth enough. Let me look into this. The chat box. I don't be looking at the comment section. I just be freestyling. Yeah, we allowed it to happen though. And I got some good stuff for y'all. I got some content coming for y'all. I had a chance. I was at Stax Museum yesterday, or I guess on Thursday night, and I had a chance to listen to this amazing group of people. They were part of a funk group back in the day called 24 Karat Black. Look up 24 Karat Black. 24 Karat Black. They were signed to Stax. They only released one album, then they broke up. They was on the road for 2 years with no money. They were touring around the country, making no money for 2 years, traveling in a U-Haul. I can't make this up. These are a group of young black people from Cincinnati, Ohio, for the most part, traveling around the country to gigs with no money for 2 years. They was on the road for 2 years with no money. This black folks, nomads, artists, nomads, hippie type. But they were like some funk music pioneers, right? And I told myself, I never heard of this group. But then I realized that I've been listening to these people all my life. But the thing about it was their music. They were getting sampled by a lot of my favorite hip hop artists, like Nas and Jay-Z and Dr. Dre. So many people, Kendrick Lamar, won a Pulitzer with their music, sampled their music, and these folks are not getting 1 red cent in royalties. All the people that sampled, the hip-hop artists that have sampled these people's music, they're not getting 1 red cent. They even, RZA, when he did The Man with the Iron Fist, he even used one of their songs to describe his origin story. He used one of their songs. They're not getting nothing off this. And I brought up the issue. I said, in hip hop, because one of them was present at the creation of hip hop. She was a beautiful sister from Indianapolis, longtime actress. I'm gonna upload the stuff I caught at that event. This stuff is powerful. This is like should be in a documentary. Cause she was there in the Bronx. She was living in the Bronx, one of them. And this sister was from Indianapolis. And she was like, I guess the second version. She was in the second version of the group, 24 Karat Black. I mean, 24 Karat Black, right? And she used to live in the Bronx back in the day. And she knew some of the cats connected to Sugar Hill Records, right? She lived in the Bronx with a bunch of Puerto Ricans. But I guess she knew Jack McDuff, one of the few jazz musicians on a band at Sugar Hill Records. You know, Sylvia Robinson, all that stuff. Check out that Unsung about the Sugar Hill gang. It is so sad. If a little bit of what they said was true, it's like, wow, that's sad. You had black people that controlled hip hop and they gave it up because they were too damn greedy. They didn't want to share the wealth or cut up the pieces of the pie. It's sad, man. But I was saying they got this thing going on now, saying that Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans created hip hop. But yet, evidently, hip hop, y'all created hip hop because hip hop use a bunch of y'all music as samples in there. Like, I'm talking about like a lot of these people, like all your favorite artists sample these people. And they ain't get one royalty check. They ain't got one red cent. And it's sad. Because I told them what made the hip hop artist music so good is because they sample y'all music because y'all had soul. Rap music is dead music. But what makes rap good is not necessarily the rappers. It's the music that they sampling from back in the day. Because it has soul. Because these folks came out to church with the soul. Sam Cooke, Isaac, Otis, David, Ruffin, Teddy P, Marvin, Marvelous Marvin Gaye, Curtis Mayfield. These cats came out to church with the soul. And like, you know, you listen to Eric Sermon's Just Like Music. I love that song. 20 years later, it's still tight. It's not tight because of Eric Sermon. It's tight because he sampled Marvin Gaye's music. That what makes it unforgettable. They killed the soul in the music on purpose, and we got soulless people walking around. They're zombies. These are our children that we don't recognize. Jimmy Lunceford, they had soul in that music, man. Jimmy put life in his music. James Brown had soul. They had life in the music. And they killed our music by design. Even Diggable Planets, they sampled the drummer from their group. This dude only has one arm now and is in real bad shape medically. His health is ruined. He only got one arm, but Diggable Planets made that song cool like that. They sampled him, their drummer. So you know how much money he should have been had just out there one sampling of his drumming? And now he's one arm and in bad health, man. So I had a chance. I'm gonna have him on my show. I got to get these brothers and sisters, this brother and sister on my show, 24 Karat Black. It was a lot of them like the Wu-Tang Clan, but 3 of them showed up that night. Yeah, on Thursday night, told their story. I'm gonna have to share these clips because they basically called it like it was. Because I said, you know, Johnny Nash was a black dude from Texas who just died not too long ago. He the one that popularized reggae. I said Bob Marley wanted to be Sam Cooke. I said, but if they created hip hop like they say, where are they James Browns? Where are they Otis Reddings and Aretha Franklins and Isaac Hayes and Marvin Gaye? Where are they people like that? They didn't create that stuff. They contributed, but they didn't create it. DJ Kool Herc was not a musician. He's a DJ. I guess he could be a musician, but he didn't create no hip hop. He ain't like Buddy Bolden. But yeah, they destroyed the soul in our music. That's why we got people around. They're talented. Ain't like a lot of people that these rappers. These rappers are talented. A lot of them are talented, but it's sad that you hear about a lot of these people when they get killed in crazy ways. I ain't know about no P&B Rock. I may have heard his music, and when I listened to his music, I said, damn, they always killing the right one. They killed the most talented one. Like Pop Smoke. I didn't know about Pop Smoke. He got popped in smoke. Words create worlds, right? So I like these cats, man. It's sad. It's a sad situation right now. It's almost hopeless for our children, but it's not. I still believe. I just think that we need to put in this information, like what I'm doing with Jimmy Lunceford. Jimmy Lunceford for me is like a Trojan horse to try to save the children. I ain't talking about I'm trying to save, but I'm trying to inform us that we do have a culture, that we do come from very loving people, a very giving people. Because Jimmy Lunceford not only wanted to help the children, but also right before he died, he was looking for real estate around the country to buy so he could start a retirement community for black musicians. I told you he was a social worker, kind of like a Scott LaRock. Scott LaRock, Boogie Down, he was a social worker. He died crazy. You know, the people that try to heal us and deal with us, we don't love and respect enough. It's like another one of my heroes, James Reese Europe, the jazz lieutenant who brought jazz to Europe. He got killed by his own drummer. No, he survived World War One, mustard gas attacks. He even survived a near lynching in Spartanburg. You know, the white folks down in Spartanburg didn't like them Negroes in uniform. It was about to be a Houston race riot incident in Spartanburg. But what happened, James Reese Europe utilized his band. They started playing music and everybody calmed down. I can't make this up. This ain't no Disney movie. This happened in real life. James Reese Europe stopped the race war from happening in Spartanburg by playing music. You had the white dudes, the white soldiers from New York. They didn't even like how the white folks were treating the black soldiers down south, which is interesting. So he calmed everybody down by having his band play music, and they got their ass shipped out of South Carolina to France. And James Europe is the first black man to lead troops in the battle in World War One. But his most important contribution, he brought jazz to Europe. His last name, Europe, brought jazz to Europe. James Europe was the music childhood hero of George Gershwin. Yes, that George Gershwin. He had, it's kind of like how Larry Bird said. He said, basketball is the black man game. I learned how to play basketball from playing with black men in Indiana. That's a Klan state. George Gershwin learned how to do this music thing from listening to black masters. He was taught by a black man from Philadelphia how to play piano and compose music. This guy named Lucky Roberts. He was a Harlem Stride piano player from Philadelphia. Became a multimillionaire by dealing in real estate in the New York area. Lucky Roberts. That was who trained George Gershwin. Just like it was Rufus T. Top Payne who trained Hank Williams Sr., the so-called king of country music. And before he died at the age of 29, Hank Williams confirmed there was a black man that his mama hired that taught him how to play the guitar and sing. And his son did a song about Rufus Payne called T-Tot. Stream T-Tot. He gives honor to this black man who taught his father how to do his thing. The Grand Ole Opry, they created a monument in his honor at the cemetery where he's buried at outside of Montgomery. It's called Lincoln Cemetery. And they put the monument at the beginning of the cemetery because they don't know where he's actually buried at. They know he's buried somewhere in that cemetery. He died during the Great Depression. But country music is black people music. It's not just Rufus T. Top Payne. It's D4 Bailey. Hell, Memphis Minnie. Black folk, we invented it. We created all this stuff. So when people say we don't got no culture, they being very, very, very disingenuous. We are very cultured people, but we forgot that we were cultured. And now they're using our talents and our abilities against us. And that's another story. But let me just wrap it up. Thank you all who have donated and will continue to donate. Like I said, if you like the words from Brother Herb, please spread the word. Sign up, We All Be TV, YouTube while you still can, folks. Email me at weallbe@gmail.com if you want to be put on my mail list. Cash out your support. Oh, and I see why I got wrong now. Oh, yeah, tell me my mind. Man, let me see something. It's $ R2C2H. I got the Z up there, like I've been asleep. But anyway, it's crazy out here. But it's $ at R2C2H2. You could PayPal, Google Pay, or Zelle support at R2C2H2 @gmail.com. And it's still Mercury retrograde. But anyway, let me Y'all probably sending that stuff to the wrong thing. It's R2C2H2. And I got a Z up there. I can't believe it. But I can. Let's see something. But anyway. All right, I can change it now. Now, dollar sign R2C2H2. Somebody getting paid off of me, boy. Dollar sign R2C2H2. That's cash out. You can Google Pay, PayPal, Zelle support at R2C2H2 at gmail.com. That's R2C2H2 at gmail.com. And Vimo your support at R2C2H2. Also, buy Art of His Art, R2C2H2.com. That's R2C2H2.com. You can wear Art of His Art. Go to our Teespring. It's not listed here. They took down my shelf, but go to Teespring.com, somewhere over there, R2C2H2 plays. Hopefully get that back up. But yeah, I really enjoy myself. And read disclaimer. Disclaimer. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope it was educational. Disclaimer: the views expressed by hosts and guests on the We All Be TV platform are not the official views, opinions, beliefs, or perspectives of We All Be News or the We All Be Group, Inc. We All Be News is an organization that thoroughly believes in supplementing the information narrative that is usually supplied by the corporate news entities with those viewpoints and expressions which may be marginalized or ignored for a plethora of reasons. We are about informing the general public on alternative perspectives as it relates to news and information, and letting the general public be the ultimate judge in deciding on how to use said information. Informed citizens are responsible citizens. Thank you for your support, and thank you all so much for tuning in. Y'all tuning out to tune in again where you fit in. And I hope I was of great service. Thank you all. We have donated, we have supported, and will continue to donate and support as well. Now that I know the Mercury retrograde is gone, but I'm having issues with my screen. Yeah, let me see something. It's crazy. Let's see. Have some issues, but I can't read y'all notes. I'm trying to read y'all stuff. Let me see something. Yeah, I had to refresh my stream. I'm having issues. It's still like doing the after effects of Mercury retrograde. Yeah, I realize that a lot of artists don't, because like what they were telling me with the 24 karat black gold people, that they were young kids. Like they were young. A lot of them, like one of the sisters, she was 17 when she signed their contract. And the parents don't know their rights, they're not experts. So that's how they get you. You know, people don't know, like New Edition. It's unfortunate, like the people with the least talent, it's like they make the most money in music. I ain't talking about the actual artists. I'm talking about the people like the executives, the lawyers, the accountants, stuff like that. So they make the most money in the music game, not the actual artists that can produce the music. And we'll see, man. I got a lot going on. Like I said, the Jimmy Lunceford Festival. Hopefully, we can stream that. We get enough support. We can stream it on here. Probably have to take it down real fast because of copyright restrictions. But I would love to do more shows if people like support what we're doing. Like I said, the Cash App. If you would like suggest a show, Cash App it, or no, send me some money and I'll do it. Not saying I'm just doing it for money, but I would love to do more shows. I just got a lot on my plate right now. But I love to feed my people because Dick Gregory said I gotta be the feeder. I thank you for listening, brother G Road Mode. G Road Mode, man. Peace, peace. Shaq in the house. What's up, brother? So I guess that's it for tonight, man. Y'all take care of yourself. Never get. Okay, Slauson Girl, thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah, I heard that too. That the former governor of Mississippi is the nephew of Roy Bryant, one of the brothers who killed Emmett Till. He was a kid when that happened. He was like a little baby, so he wasn't involved. But I heard that. I think it was in his It was in the Wikipedia page for Phil Bryant. But I think they took that out because people like to edit things out of Wikipedia. Cause I know they edit stuff out. They had my name involved in it, and they took my name out. I put my name back in. That's how they do it. They like to reinvent, re-edit history. So thank y'all. So y'all take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. One love. Yeah, he probably meant William Monroe. I won't doubt that at all. A lot of us have Mississippi roots. My people from Mississippi. Hey, look, where Jimmy Lunceford is buried at in the Elmwood Cemetery here, not that far away from here, is one of the co-composers of Dixie. Herman Frank Arnold wrote Dixie. I wish I wasn't Dixie. He's buried in the same cemetery as Jimmy Lunceford, the king of swing, king of the battle bands, the father of jazz music education. They buried in the same cemetery. So it don't surprise me. Like Herman Frank Arnold actually did the inauguration for Jefferson Davis when he became the president of the Confederacy. They held his inauguration down in Montgomery because Montgomery was the first capital of the Confederacy. It wasn't Richmond. Richmond, Virginia became the capital of the Confederacy later, but Montgomery, Alabama was the original capital of the Confederacy during the Civil War. And Herman Frank Arnold performed at the inauguration of Jefferson Davis, whose wife was like a mulatto mix or something like that. So it's crazy how these white supremacists' mind work when it comes to race and sex. So anyway, thank you, brother Ronald True Hunt. Thank you. Brian Brown. Thank y'all. Y'all take care. I was thinking about, one rapper I kind of like is Future. I think Future is interesting because Future probably could have been a bebop jazz musician 70 something, 80 years ago. Because like he did a song called Right Now, but he's doing Tupac's No More Pain off his All Eyes on Me album. And y'all can say what y'all want about Future. Future know how to make a song. Yeah, he may not be your greatest rapper, but the dude know how to flip a song and make it his own. And that's what bebop artists was doing. Like Charlie Parker would take the song Cherokee and he made it Coco. He'll take well-known songs and just change some things around and make it in his own image. And that's what Future does. Like these guys are manifest stars and alchemists, but a lot of times their talents are used against them. I think somebody said about Future that he raps about Percocets and all this stuff, but he don't take no drugs, from my understanding. He don't do the drugs. And there's a lot of rappers like that. Like you look at Young Jeezy talking about being a snowman, the trap house, but his son is well educated. His son didn't grow up in no trap house. So you got, and I remember reading articles about how Eminem and Dr. Dre want to let their children listen to their music when they was growing up. Or like you learn about these social media tech giants, how their children went to schools with no technology. But yet they got your children sprung out and doped out on technology, on social media. So you got to look at how these people move and what they do, not just what they say, but what they actually do and don't do. I need a staff for all that, but we'll see. Be one. All right, y'all take care. God bless, and know that the best is yet to come. We love you madly. Peace.